was coming round the laps, and me and Jamie were battling. And when you started the lap, what position, you knew where you were going to finish the lap, so it's very strategic. He definitely let me pass going there, so he could slipstream me back down the back straight on the last lap, but fair play, he outsmarted me.
I was going to say, is it like a big game of chess? Because that's what it seemed like in these tiny little caterums.
That's exactly what it is. Like, I don't care how fast you are, you're not going to break that slipstream. So if you're coming out that last corner in second, you know you're going to win, because there's nothing the guy in front can do, and there's not enough of a toe coming out the last corner to cross the line. So it's very much a game of chess and figuring out where to place your car on what lap.
And what's it like trying to deal with five cars in your mirror at one stage?
Yeah, it's tricky. You're sort of just trying to focus on putting in nice, clean, tidy laps. You know they're always going to be there, but then, yeah, you're coming into like the chicane on the last corner, and you're there going, you're braking, you can hear tyres squealing, your mirrors are full of cars, you're there going, do I ease off the brake before someone comes in the back of me? But, you know, we've all raced together before. We'll try to keep it nice and clean.
I'm sure you're in for a brilliant race, but I'll move on to the final driver.
Yeah, quickly if you can, Adam. Yeah, we've got the
finally,
cars on. Yeah.
Quick summary. That was a very, very tight race for you.
It was a great race, as always. You know, we're inches apart, and everybody's behaving themselves. It was fantastic. Great.
I'll kind of ask you the same question. What was it like trying to fend off five cars that are in your mirror?
Well, that's the difficulty, because you have to be fighting, otherwise you're going backwards. And so when we were around, coming around, I might have the run on Dave or anybody else. And whilst you're doing that, you've got to be mindful that people coming up behind you can easily overtake you. So it's just 20 minutes of hell, really.
And just finally, do you think there's anything you could have done differently, and will you do that in the next race?
Yes and yes.
Thank you very much. We'll take care. On to the legends next.
Thanks, Adam. Yes, quickly, because the cars are on their pace lap. Luke Simmons, number 25, is on the front row, but on pole position is number 6, Tyler Reid. So it's 6 and 25 to the front row. The second row, number 1, Will Gibson, and number 28, Harry Marcel. Numbers 1 and 28. On the third row, we've got 3, 2, 1. Leonard Woodcock, and 34 Nick Price. On the fourth row, number 29 Nathan Anthony, and number 13 Chris Needham. On the fifth row, 4 Jack Parker and 32 Daniel Pooley. On the sixth row, number 62 Eric Bolton and 19 Connor Mills. On the seventh row, 68 Nick Bridgman and 44 Jamie Moylan. On the eighth row, starting from the pit lane in fact, although he would have been otherwise on the eighth row, number 3 Mike Schlupp and number 2 Toby Broom. Is he really going to be there? No, I wouldn't have thought so. So cross him out. On the ninth row, number 85 Mark Beattie and number 18 Robert Barrable. On the 10th row, number 9 Ollie Schlupp and number 122 Chris Dewey. On the 11th row, number 17 Ben Marnie and number 88 Peter Barrable. On the 12th row, number 22 Matt Knight and number 30 Andy Bird. Behind them we've got number 94 Steve Whiteleg and 99 Scott Jackson. At the very back, number 28 Graham Butler, and the cars in great formation as usual come up towards the starting gantry on which the lights are red. They go out now and the cars head off down towards Redgate in one great big colourful cavalcade of colour. As they turn through Redgate for the first time, the pack shuffling around. Drivers to watch particularly in this: Will Gibson, last year's champion, starting on the second row, therefore he should be able to get in front pretty quickly. Number 4 Jack Parker, this year's championship leader, starting from the fifth row. Connor Mills won the earlier race, he's starting from the row behind. This grid is also based on a ballot, but is the ballot that formed the grid for the first race, but reversed totally. So you've got quick drivers from the front now at the back and the other way around, not based on the result of the earlier race, this grid.
Kind of gravel, and that looks like one of the Gigabox cars. So I think that happened exactly the last race as well. So unfortunate there for whoever that was. We'll pick them up as they head over the timing line, and then we'll be able to tell who is who. But continuing their way down the back straight and on towards the Robert chicane for the first time, you can already see it's getting pretty muscly out there. These little cars are not to be fooled around with. Gibson keeping the lead there as they head their way now on toward the main straight. Now we're going to start getting some timing. You'll start to see some wonderful graphics there. Will Gibson in the lead here from Simmons, from Needham, from Parker, from Reed, then Anthony, followed by Mills, Moylan and Bolton with Pooley, and look how close it is. There's 5 for the lead in it, and the Lightning McQueen livery there in P6 down there of Tyler Reed, continuing to try and look around the outside, but everyone is just vying for a little bit of space, but they also want to get involved as much as possible, not letting anyone else get away.
Well, you heard what the Caterham drivers were saying about how difficult it is to break the toe around the Donington Park National Circuit. It's the same with the Legends. They will stay together right the way through to the race, the end of the race. I've no doubt about that. The race of 8 laps will become 10 laps for the final, but 8 laps for the heat, the 2 heats. So 8 laps for this one, and Will Gibson in front at the end of the opening lap. He started on the second row, but what about some of the other quick drivers? For Robert Barrable, for example, down in 15th place, just ahead of his brother Peter, and there's 1 or 2 others from well down the grid who've got to make their way forward. Andy Bird, number 30, where did he get to on the opening lap? Not quite some way down. Anyway, there he goes through for the second time.
He was 21st at Andy Bird last time around, but of course this is about to update, and he will be, I'm going to guess he's going to get launched all the way up the field. No, he doesn't. He stays in 21st, but continuing to look at our pictures there, Will Gibson, of course, with the fastest lap of the race, 121.335, just a couple of hundreds ahead of everyone else, but here goes Gibson. Gibson now starting to feel the pressure with Needham in behind. A bit of smoke there. I think that may have been from the tyres on the ground there. Oh, that's a bit of a slide. Oh, there's someone off there. That's going to be the number 88, and I believe that is going to be Barrable. That's Peter Barrable once again, so he's having more issues there, and up the inside that goes to number 13. That's Chris Needham. Chris Needham takes the lead of this race once again. Is Gibson going to be able to try and get back at him, and they head up the hill, the blind crest to the right, and they'll follow their way all the way down that back straight here. Oh, looking at more battles all the way down the field. It's going to be so competitive up and down, and it's all about the little bit of slipstream that you need to be able to cast your way more toward the front rather than hopefully not falling toward the back of the field here. You can see that a whole train of colour of legends following their way through, and this is absolutely superb stuff from the absolutely incredible field.
As you said, Chris Needham has taken the lead. So Chris Needham, who didn't start the second race when it was restarted, Chris Needham from the 4th row now leads the way from in second place. In second place is Jack Parker, who's come through very well from, where did he start, on the 5th row also. So Jack Parker in second place. Then in third place is Will Gibson. In 4th place is Simmons, then Reed, Mills, Moylan, Anthony in the band, Bolton and Schlupp complete the top 10. Robert Barrable down in 11th place at the moment. So the group at the front, the top 6 really are the ones that are together, but in 6th place, setting the fastest lap of the race, was number 19 Mills, on the Mills. So that is the fastest lap at 120.815 at the moment.
It is at this moment in time, but of course that can all change along with the cars getting faster, the fuel burning down, resulting in the car getting lighter and lighter. But of course you don't want to be too underway, because of course one of our cars in fact got a penalty starting from the pit lane, and that is the result in being underway. So you don't want to be that driver that is sent to the back of the field, because of course you're underweight. It's Harry Musell. So Harry Musell has had a horrible race so far. He was the one that went off into the gravel. He's the one now out of the race, but more cars continuing to fight their way through. They go up into Redgate. That is further on down the field. I believe that is the 34 of Price having a ding-dong with Knight. So 34 up against the 22, but I think this is for the lead here once again, Ian.
Yes, down they come and through the old hairpin. So the leading group continues to be, it was Chris Needham who led over the line at the end of the 4th lap. From in second place, Will Gibson. In third place, dropping down to third place, Jack Parker for the moment. don't catch him out. Connor Mills in 4th place, so the cream is rising to the top again. In 5th place is 25 Luke Simmons, and in 6th place over the line, not necessarily as they stand at the moment, number 1 Will Gibson. But plenty of shuffling of the order going on as they come down towards the chicane, the Roberts chicane, the first 6 all together. And now as they come out of the chicane and go over the line, just in the lead is number 13, Chris Needham, but only just. Has he still got the lead, Adam, as they go down into Redgate?
It does look like it is going to stay with Chris Needham at this moment in time. The slight purple car. Oh, is that an off there for Tyler Reid? There looks like there's something on the front right there. It looks like something was low. Something was smoking from that far right toe we saw in your picture. But it was unfortunate there for Tyler Reid, and just unfortunate there. Oh, that's a bit of a wide moment. That's going to be Chris Needham.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him, he's fallen off the side of the wayside of the circuit and handed the lead over to Jack Parker. So Parker will now battle away with Gibson, battle away with Mills, and that number 19 that won the first race here will be able to try and capitalise on both of these cars. And he will really go for it. He knows he's got the pace, and he knows that if he plays his cards right, exactly like he did in the first race, it will be 2 for 2 for Connor Mills.
Chris Needham isn't out of it. He just ran wide, as Adam described, going through the old hairpin, and that cost him several places in the group, but he's still part of the leading group as they head into the chicane for the 6th time in this 8-lap race. So on to the penultimate lap they go, and the order this time through, well, it's back in front is Will Gibson. So Will Gibson, number 1, leads. From in 2nd place, number 4, Jack Parker. In 3rd place, having just set the fastest lap, Connor Mills set the fastest lap at 1:20.815. He's in 3rd place. In 4th place, have a disappointment at the end of the earlier race, Jamie Moylan, number 44, in 4th place. In 5th place is number 25, Craig Simmons, and behind him we've got in 6th place Chris Needham, so he's part of that group. Robert Barrable has worked his way through into 7th place, ahead of number 29, Anthony.
Really good stuff there. Again, Connor Mills, the Australian champion in the elites, really looking to maybe make something happen. Of course, these drivers have experienced the Donington Park circuit earlier alongside the British Touring Car Championship. They'll be very much used to passing around the national circuit, but you can really see how much they're really wrestling the cars here, and it's honestly superb to see. If you haven't been to a Legends meeting, definitely get down here because it's super enjoyable. And there is Jamie Moylan, who tries to make up for his earlier misdemeanors in the opening race here. He's battling now with Connor Mills in the Auto Bright black and red car. The sponsorship for Auto Bright being super useful to Connor. And I think now Jack Parker, the car who we're seeing right behind that number 1, is looking to try and make a move. These guys need to start battling if Connor Mills and Jamie Moylan want to enter the fray here. And on this last lap, it will be right down to the wire.
Yes, this is the last lap, so they come down through the Craner curves for the final time, nose to tail. Gibson from Parker. Jack Parker, the most winning driver so far this season. Locked a brake as he came into the old hairpin. And just cutting back to the lower end of the top 10, but it's Gibson against Parker for the lead. This year's champion last year's champion against possibly this year's champion, battling out for first place up the brow into Coppice, and it is in the lead then, number 1 Will Gibson. But is he still in the lead? Is it 3 abreast? Could it be 4 abreast as they make it to the chicane for the final time? And diving down the inside, everybody be very good about not barging into each other. Is that cutting the corner again? I thought that happened in the earlier race as well. So up to the checker flag, they come into virtual dead heat as they cross the line. I would say that Jack Parker just had the verdict from in 2nd place Will Gibson. The gap at the flag, 57 thousandths of a second. It was, yes, Jack Parker the winner from Will Gibson in 2nd place. In 3rd place, number 19, Connor Mills, winner of the early race today. In fourth place, number 44, Jamie Moylan. In fifth place, number 25, Luke Simmons. And in sixth place, number 13, Chris Needham, who of course led at an earlier stage in the race. In seventh place, number 18, Robert Barrable. In eighth place, number 9, Ollie Schlupp. And in 10th place, number 68, Nick Bridgman. 11th, number 85, Mark Beattie. And in 12th place, number 32, Daniel Pooley. Just looking to see whether there are any big names who are lower down the order. I think we've covered all the ones that are like to feature in the final. The final grid is based on points scored, so not based on the finishing order of the race. Well, another spectacular race with the legends as ever providing some very, very close racing indeed. Now Adam's gone down to catch up with the winning drivers, hopefully be given the opportunity to talk to them so we can hear what they have to say, and we look ahead to the Production GTI Championship first race, which, like everybody else, qualified this morning. The entry for the Production Golf GTIs is on page 8 of the digital program, and there's one to add to it, number 11, Simon Verco. Same sort of car as the others have, Mark V Golf GTI. And the grid will line up like this: standing start, offset 2 by 2, pole position number 29, Henry Riley, and with them on the front row, the additional runner number 11, Simon Verco. So 29 and 11 is the front row. The second row, number 1, Simon Hill, and number 33, Richard Marsh. 1 and 33, row 2. Row 3, number 28, James Colborne, and number 88, Darren Abbott. 28 and 88, row 3. Row 4, 46, John Beale, and 22, Adam Hans. 46 and 22, row 4. And at the back, 57, Chris Webb, and 25, Gavin Drake.
I'm currently down in pit lane and just seeing a couple of the drivers having a few conversations. And Jack Parker, our winner, incredible race. Once again, holding off the competition. What was it like for you?
Very eventful out there. Just trying to pick my times, really. With the slipstream down here is so massive that you really don't want to be leading on the last lap, and unfortunately Will was doing that, and he tried to come over. His car was sideways coming down the last straight before the start finish line, and just couldn't quite keep it, and yeah, we managed to get alongside him and get the corner. And it's just picking your moments with these legends and just making sure you're in the right place at the right time. But I knew Connor was coming. Will was a hefty challenge trying to keep up and try and overtake, so yeah, great result.
With these legend cars, it's about just trying to look forward rather than look back, would you say?
You really got to keep looking forward. You can't think who's coming. You just have to keep looking forward, keep trying, keep pushing. Yeah, it really is just pick your moments out there, because with the slipstream and the wind out here, that you really do need a friend to sort of work with, because if you try and go on your own, you've got no chance.
And of course we do have that final race coming up, and do you think you stand a chance of winning, or do you think it's going to be quite tough for you, because bearing in mind the competition is unbelievable here? It's going to be a tough one for sure.
Oh, it's definitely a tough one. With the reverse grid, you really have no idea what's going to happen, and there's so many drivers out here that are so competitive that can win a race. You really just come down to the last race and just hope and pray you get round the first corner, and then just try and start picking your line through it.
Brilliant, Jack. Thank you so much. Go and enjoy your win, and we'll talk to you hopefully maybe later. We'll see. Will Gibson, top race from you, but it's only second place. Are you still happy with that? Or was there a little bit of disappointment in you?
I'm a little bit disappointed. I made a mistake coming onto the back straight and had the rear tyres lit up. So yeah, I think, you know, if I could roll it back, there's a couple of things I would have done differently, and you've always got to be disappointed if you know you could have done something to win it. So I was just hoping Connor was going to pick me up and push me and go for a second, but you know, he's a proper racer, so he was always going to go for the win. And yeah, it was a bit hairy going into the chicane 3 wide again.
And of course, you can't really predict what happens in these legend races, because you try and pick a moment and maybe something else happens. And just kind of talk about that. Would you say that's kind of the way it goes?
Yeah, there's a lot of tactics to this. You know, you could kind of see from the guys at the front, we were sometimes working together. Sometimes we were, you know, trying to get back in front. It's hot here. They're air-cooled engines. They run really, really warm. So just being able to be in the front for a little bit, let your engine cool down. You know, we're never going to break the toe around here with the quality of drivers. So, yeah, at the end of the day, second's good. You know, we're racing Jack for the championship, and to only lose 15 points to him, we've got to take it.
What would you say is the kind of plan going into that final race? Because, of course, there are some big points out on the cards there, and of course, but you do have a championship to contend with.
I think the phrase is checkers or wreckers, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll go for it. You know, the last race we're normally pretty good in, so, you know, we've got to start from the back and work well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But fingers crossed we can get on the top spot with the Autos underwriting car.
Brilliant. That sounds absolutely amazing. I think that is. I think we have one more. Connor Mills, of course, our third place spot. Of course, won the first race. That wasn't too bad for you.
Yeah, it was all right. I think I thought we had it, to be fair, but. You know, I sort of got the move done around the outside. Luckily, I got picked up as well. So we was ahead going into the corner. But you know, the thing is, some people want to go barreling in and either win or crash, right? So I had to sort of bail out. But look, winning a third. Let's see what we can do in the final.
Do you think you have a bit of confidence going into the final, or is it still going to be as unpredictable as ever?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's legends racing, right? You got to kind of try and make your own luck. You got to have eyes in the back of your head, watch out for people. Yeah, look, first get the first lap out of the way. That's what usually decides it. If we get a good, clean first lap, make up some positions, then we'll start picking them off and see what we can do.
And what's the main thing going into that final work, do you think, will kind of be the key for success, getting the maximum points?
Not crashing, probably. Yeah, like I say, it's all down to the first lap, really. Like I say, because we're all going to be starting at the back now. You kind of got to pick a line and hope that that's the best line, but you never know. So if that all goes well, and then yeah, like I say, it's just momentum. Keep it going, pick them off. Hopefully you get someone helping you and pushing you. Some people don't want to, but I think I've got a few friends out there, so we'll see.
You're going to try and maybe go in with a game plan before you go out onto the grid, or you're just going to say whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, I mean, every time I've tried to come up with a game plan, you get to the first corner and it's all completely different, right? 4, 5 wide and people spinning and whatnot. So, yeah, look, game plan's to win. Let's just see if we can do that.
Thank you so much, Connor, and I'm sure we'll see that incredible final race later on here at Donington Park. Please be prepared for it. Please do watch it here on the Legends UK channel, and I'm sure we'll see you in just a moment.
And come back tomorrow, of course, because there'll be